So the typing process is the portal, the entry point into our 2 training tracks. People that want to work one-on-one or people that want to teach the Enneagram. So one-on-one might be spiritual directors, coaches, counselors, but the typing process is the first place they go, which is to learn to develop new questions. We talked earlier about new questions being, or good questions being really important. And they actually learn a typing process, an outline of way of interviewing somebody that elicits the type. One of the really important things that we always talk about in our trainings and in this class is it's not up to us to nail the type, because the type is really something we want people to discover for themselves, but in a typing interview, we can help narrow the range and give people feedback based on what we're hearing from the interview. And in my experience, it's a training program now, so we have very short panels elucidating the similarities and differences between the type. But it really is a training practical course where people work in small groups to develop a script, a typing script, so they can interview people, which is part of the internship program. And I will say the culmination of that is on the second evening, it's 2.5 days, and on the second evening, which is quite a feat, we bring in people from the community who don't know their types and coaches from the community that have certified, and they do live interviews. They work in small groups. It's always a very exciting evening, and I don't know, Peter, if you want to add something to that.
Well, it's just getting people working together. So we teach, you practice, teach, practice, and then on that second evening, people come in and you practice the typing interviews with them. Of course, you're doing it with a couple other people, so we don't want to say you got to do the whole thing, right away, but you're cooperating with a couple of your peers and in a small group. You take different sections, and then there's a typing interview, and then there's a second round, another typing interview. And we have no great expectation that people are going to come up with the right type, but the practice of engaging people in conversation, again, this is so much a part of the narrative tradition, to engage people in conversation. And yes, questionnaires can be helpful, but they're not 100% accurate. And as Renee was saying, it's like really our value is that people need to find their type themselves. And what we can do is facilitate that process through this interview, which is also a conversation. It's a wonderful conversation, and there's questions that I think about pretty regularly.
And it's really true too that we've had students say, "Why don't you just give us the questions?" And actually, like developing the questions, so you're constantly learning about the Enneagram through your own inquiry and developing the questions.
It takes the learning to a whole other level, because you've got to put it into the engagement with the people that you're talking to.
And I believe David Daniels actually created this course, as I understand. And we've had many people come up and say, this is the best training course ever. Right. As far as really, in 2.5 days, the amount that you can learn and get together to keep going forward.
Right. And then it's followed, if people choose, they can follow along by doing a typing internship. Right? And that's where you take it out into the field and you start actually finding people to interview, sit down and interview. And a bunch of those, maybe half of those, you videotape and you send, or you post it on the web, or whatever, and then that's reviewed. You work with a coach, an experienced Enneagram teacher, one-on-one, and you get feedback about your presence, because of course you've got to work with your own type structure, your questioning, and also your what you're hearing and concluding. And so it's a wonderful, the workshop is great, and it's an awesome preparation for this typing internship, which really helps people develop the professional skills to be either certified as an Enneagram teacher or certified as an Enneagram professional.